You're doing everything right. You're working hard, you got the degree, you got the job, you're not blowing money on luxury cars or designer clothes, but somehow at the end of every month, there's nothing left. You feel stuck. You feel like no matter what you do, you just can't get ahead. Here's the truth. It's not your fault. Not entirely, because the system has 5 hidden traps built into it that keep average people broke forever. These aren't the obvious mistakes like overspending or not saving. These are the invisible ones, the ones nobody talks about, the ones that drain your wealth silently, month after month, year after year. Today, I'm exposing the first 3, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. The first hidden reason most people stay broke is lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, your spending goes up to match it. You earn more, you spend more, you save the same amount, which is nothing. Here's how it works. You're making $40,000 a year, living paycheck to paycheck. You get promoted. Now you make $55,000, so you upgrade your apartment, you buy a newer car, you eat at better restaurants, and somehow you're still living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher level. The math is brutal. If you got a $15,000 raise and spent all of it on lifestyle upgrades, you lost more than just $15,000 because that $15,000 invested over 20 years at 8% returns would have been $70,000. Every lifestyle upgrade you made cost you $70,000 in future wealth. People who build wealth do something different. When they get a raise, they live like they didn't. They keep their old apartment for 1 more year, they drive the paid-off car, they take that extra income and invest it before they can spend it. They let their investments inflate, not their lifestyle. The second hidden reason is the minimum payment trap. Credit card companies are not your friends. They designed minimum payments specifically to keep you in debt for decades. Here's the math they don't want you to see. You have a $6,000 credit card balance at 24% interest. Your minimum payment is around $120 a month. Feels manageable, right? Wrong. At minimum payments, it takes you over 30 years to pay off that balance, and you'll pay over $14,000 in interest alone. That $6,000 balance cost you $20,000 total. But here's what makes it worse. While you're paying 24% interest on your debt, you could be earning 8% on investments. Every month you carry that balance, you're losing money in 2 directions at once. You're paying interest going out and missing investment returns coming in. Most people look at their minimum payment and think they're managing their debt. They're not. They're feeding a machine that's designed to keep them broke. The third hidden reason is the income ceiling mindset. Most people have been taught to think about money in one direction only. Earn more at your job, work harder, get promoted, ask for a raise, and that's it. That's their entire financial strategy. The problem is that a job has a ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day, only so many promotions available, and your employer will always pay you the minimum they can get away with, not the maximum you deserve. Here's the comparison that changes everything. The average person spends 47 years working a 9-to-5, trading time for money. Meanwhile, money in an index fund works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never calls in sick. It never takes a vacation. $10,000 invested at 8% returns doesn't just become $10,000 plus interest. After 30 years, it becomes $100,000. Your money multiplied by 10 while you were sleeping. The people who escape this trap stop relying exclusively on their job and start building income that works without them. Those are 3 hidden reasons, but the next 2 are even more dangerous because they're psychological, not mathematical, and psychological traps are the hardest to escape. So take a look at your own finances today. Where are these 3 traps showing up? Because once you see them, you can start to dismantle them. Let's talk about one of the biggest hidden reasons most people stay broke: comparison spending. In the age of social media, this one is absolutely destroying people's finances. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're scrolling through your feed, you see your friend's gorgeous new kitchen renovation, you see your coworkers' vacation photos from Bali, you see your neighbor pulling into the driveway with a brand new SUV, and suddenly, without even realizing it, you feel behind. You feel like you need to keep up. So you spend money you don't have to impress people you don't really like, to buy things you don't really need. This is called social comparison spending, and it's a $100 billion industry. Every single advertising platform, every social media algorithm, every luxury brand is engineered specifically to trigger this exact feeling in you. They want you to feel inadequate, because inadequacy sells products. But here's the part they don't show you. Your friend's kitchen? That's on a home equity loan. Your coworker's Bali vacation? Straight onto a high-interest credit card. Your neighbor's new SUV? That comes with a $700 monthly payment that's slowly crushing them. The highlight reel you're comparing yourself to is financed by debt you can't see. The people who really build wealth are almost invisible on social media. They drive normal cars, they live in modest homes, they don't post about their investment accounts, because they understand something fundamental. The goal isn't to look wealthy, the goal is to be wealthy. And those two things are almost always opposites. Every time you spend money to impress someone else, you're making them richer and yourself poorer. It's time to stop performing wealth and start building it. Now, the fifth hidden reason is the one that surprises people the most. It's the financial education gap. Simply put, nobody taught you this stuff. Not your parents, not your school, not your employer. And that gap is costing you a fortune. Think about what you spent 12 years learning in school: history, literature, algebra, how to dissect a frog. Now think about what you weren't taught: how compound interest works, how to read a tax return, what an index fund is, how to negotiate your salary. The financial system is extraordinarily complex, and you were sent into it completely unprepared. And the people who design that system, they prefer it that way. A financially illiterate population is an extremely profitable one. Let's put some real numbers on what this education gap costs you. Not knowing how to negotiate your salary costs the average person $500,000 over a career. Not understanding tax-advantaged accounts costs you another $100,000. Not investing early because you're scared of the stock market costs you $500,000 in compound growth. We're talking about over $1 million in lifetime wealth lost, not because you were lazy or irresponsible, but because nobody ever taught you the rules of the game. But here's the good news. You're fixing that right now. Every podcast you listen to, every book you read, every financial concept you learn is closing that gap. And closing that gap is worth more money than any raise your employer will ever give you. Here's your bottom line. Most people stay broke not because they're lazy, but because lifestyle inflation steals their raises, minimum payments trap them in debt for decades, and income ceiling mindset keeps them trading time for money forever. Comparison spending drains their wallet to impress strangers, and nobody ever taught them the rules of the financial game. Now you know all five, but knowing isn't enough. You have to act. Cut the lifestyle inflation on your next raise. Pay more than the minimum on every single debt. Start one investment this month, no matter how small. Stop spending to impress and start investing to build. And keep learning, because financial education is the highest return investment you will ever make. You're not broke because you're failing. You're broke because the game was designed to keep you that way. But now you know the rules, and knowing the rules is how you win.